Let's take a quick look at comedian Tim Dillon mocking Erika Kirk.
To see which finalist you think is best suited to take Turning Point USA into the next chapter. Please welcome our first contestant, Erika Kirk.
And there's a lot more of this we'll check out. Some freedom lovers find this incredibly offensive. Some find it funny. We're going to talk about it. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. This is where we help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. Now, comedian Tim Dillon has an amazing video podcast, and sometimes before it, he does little skits. And in a recent skit, in fact, this most recent weekend, his episode featured a sketch that was mocking Turning Point USA and mocking the freshly widowed Erika Kirk. Now, I'll give you my opinion later on in this video whether I found it offensive, distasteful, or if I found it funny with a purpose. And I'll be curious what you think along the way. But before we see the full offensive or funny sketch from Tim Dillon mocking Erika Kirk, here is just evidence that Tim Dillon will mock anything.
The Free Press just put out an article how Qatar bought America. If that were true, there would be signs. That's completely untrue. I have not been bought. Does this look like a man who's been bought by Qatar?
Now, at the end of the video, I'll show you an even funnier clip of him mocking Israel. But nonetheless, let's get to the sketch at hand where Tim Dillon, you'll see him set it up from the beginning, kind of like a America's Got Talent, competing to see who's going to be the next figurehead of Turning Point USA. He has 3 contestants come on, Erika Kirk being the first. Let's take a look, and you get your notepad out, because I want to hear if you think this is offensive or funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We have the unique privilege this week of hosting a contest to determine who is going to lead the next chapter of Turning Point USA. The 2 finalists have made it through all the preliminary rounds, and now you, the audience, are going to vote by phone to see which finalist you think is best suited to take Turning Point USA into the next chapter. Please welcome our first contestant, Erika Kirk.
Erika Kirk goes on to sing a Celine Dion song, Love You Like That, can't play that, copyright. So we're cutting right to Tim Dillon interviewing Erika Kirk as she ends her performance.
All right, thank you. Erika Kirk, everyone. Erika, clearly going through something. Well, it's, an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
You have so much energy. How are you holding up?
Tim, it has been a whirlwind. It has been just such a crazy, chaotic time. I'm going on tour. I have a Christmas album coming out. And I mean, I just signed with WME. I'm going on SNL and I'm going on Rogan. And I have a Skims collab coming out next month. So it's just a very exciting time. It's
actually amazing that that's how this is all happening. I did try your Smoothie and Air one, and it was excellent.
Thank you so much.
Do you have anything you want to leave the Turning Point fans with?
If Israel did it, I forgive them.
Erika Kirk, everyone.
Now, Tim has 2 more contestants coming up. You'll see them. And I'll give some opinion about the Erika Kirk specifics after we watch these next 2 contestants, why he was mocking that. And of course, I'll share, do I think it's funny or do I think it's offensive? But first, let's finish the sketch where he starts mocking the guy, Brylan, someone who came out and said, yeah, I'm doing the Turning Point USA tour, and kind of positioned himself as Turning Point USA's new spokesman. So he's the next contestant.
Our next contestant is Brylan Hollyhand.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, Brylan. Brylan, let me ask you a question. What makes you suited to lead Turning Point USA, this Christian Republican organization?
Well, I have an extensive resume as an 18-year-old. I go to Auburn University, Roll Tide, and I am the biggest Democrat hater in all the lands. Okay, settle down, Brylan, settle down. A lot of people have criticized you because you've been seen on a private jet or you know, you have a Rolex on. They say your dad's rich. Or what's your response to them? Well, I would just say my daddy got guns.
All right. Well, Brylan, and do you have a girlfriend, a lovely lady in your life?
Of course, now he's trying to press him to admit he's gay or not. Tim Dillon is gay himself, so he can definitely mock him. I would mock him too. I have girlfriends that I love to go out with.
Right.
But, not some special somebody, if that's what you're asking.
Not yet, I'm sure. Okay, and I'm sure you are very excited to bring Turning Point into the next era.
I'm going to make my Turning Point jet kiss my daddy's jet.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brylan Hollyhand, everyone. We'll let you know.
Couple quick things on the actual Brylan Hollyhand before we see the third contestant. Here he is.
The modern day left is the party of violence.
Insightful statement. And here he is on the private jet that he made sure he posted so everybody could see him on a private jet. And of course, Tim Dillon was mocking that in the sketch. We'll return to the video in a second, but first, ladies and gentlemen, it is flu season, which means it's flu shot season. And believe it or not, with all that we've been through the last 5 years, the number of people getting flu shots is at a record low. Shocker. And that's because there is a much better way to stay healthy. That's why you want to grab your Contagion Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company. If you wake up with a sore throat or a runny nose, you don't have to wait. You can start addressing your symptoms immediately with this doctor-prescribed kit that contains ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, generic Tamiflu, and generic Z-Pak, and more. It's like having an urgent care in your own home. As you can see, I have a Contagion Emergency Kit because I refuse to be trapped in lines in emergency rooms or rely on expensive insurance if I catch a cold. I simply open my kit, reference the doctor-written guidebook for safe use, and I get back to life. To get yours, go to twc.health/JPReacts. Use promo code JPReacts to get $48 off. Kits are available to U.S. residents only. It pays to be an American. I recommend getting it now before cold and flu season kicks in. Go to twc.health/JPReacts. Use code JPReacts to save $48. Now back to the video. Now, a little tea, if you will, on this Brylan Hollyhand person in real life. Check this out. I've seen reports of this all over the place. AstroTurf grifter Brylan Hollyhand has been outed for lying about being sponsored by Turning Point USA. He's going around claiming his new tour is a partnership with TPUSA when that is an outright lie. Tyler Boyer from TPUSA confirms that Brylan does not work for TPUSA and that his tour is not sponsored by TPUSA, calling the lie distasteful. And of course, within a week or two of Charlie Kirk's death, that's when Brylan was posting all this stuff, saying I'm on a TPUSA tour. You'll see an example of those posts right here. This is from Twitter. Yesterday, I kicked off my TPUSA sponsored 10-stop campus tour to a sold-out auditorium, 500 students, University of Arkansas, honoring Charlie Kirk. Today, I joined Ben Shapiro's show, Pro-Israel. No one person can replace Charlie. Gen Z must rise up to continue his legacy. And he's made multiple posts claiming to be on a Turning Point USA tour. So it's basically like stolen Charlie Kirk valor. I don't have much respect for that. Now, before we get to the opinions on offensive or funny, let's finish the Tim Dillon sketch with the third contestant to be who's the head of the Turning Point USA.
And now weighing in from prison in his first interview is Tyler Robinson.
People showed up in Escalades and tiny hats, and they threatened my family. It wasn't me.
Thank you, Tyler.
I forgot. There's actually 4. I forgot about that one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, your votes have been pouring in as our 2 contestants have made their case as to why they should lead Turning Point. But a very powerful write-in campaign has taken root. and a new name has been introduced. Please welcome Candace.
The Fibonacci sequence will lead you to where Jimmy Hoffa is buried, and that is the Holy Grail.
Thank you, Candace.
Okay, the sketch ends there, and remember at the end of this video, I'll show you Tim Dillon mocking Israel directly. That's just funny. No question about that. A lot of people probably have questions about that. I don't. It's funny. So was this mockery of Turning Point USA and also specifically widowed Erika Kirk, is this offensive or is this funny? Here's my opinion and I'll explain it. My opinion in short is this is funny. Why? And by the way, I totally get people would say this is way too soon. If this happened, if he put this sketch out 3 days after Charlie Kirk's death, I would say that's way too soon. This comes out 4 weeks after his death. Pretty soon, maybe not too soon. I wouldn't have put this out, yet Tim Dillon did, and I think it is funny. I don't think it's too soon. Why do I think it's funny and not offensive? Because he is rooted in truthful curiosity here. He is mocking, keep in mind, he's not mocking the person of Erika Kirk. He's mocking suspicious things around here. Here's what I mean. Before I saw this sketch that Tim Dillon did, everything he's mocking, I was having conversations with people, not mocking, but questioning these suspicious things about Erika Kirk. Not jumping to conclusions like it's an inside job, she did it, she's glad it happened. No. But having conversations with friends, and they were in agreement, we're saying, it is kind of weird. Like, what, a couple days after Charlie Kirk's death, Erika Kirk, the grieving widow and mother of 2 young children who just had their father taken away from them, it is kind of weird that she's willing and wanting to be on camera, addressing people by video. And then the memorial service, like she's up there talking, pushing the movement forward. That is kind of weird. And what I was sharing with a friend is, and that he was saying the same thing, if I lost my beloved, I could not be bothered being on camera. I would want to do nothing for the longest time. Like, I need to just grieve, let alone be with the children. It's like I would want to do nothing other than be with the children. Like, yeah, his legacy and stuff, we'll get to that. It just seemed suspiciously odd behavior. And also, you could say it looked like the agenda mattered a lot to her. Kind of like if you were pushing forward an agenda, and I'm not saying an agenda in necessarily a bad way or a good way, just an agenda. If pushing an agenda forward, and let's just say with Charlie out of the way, there's a more pro-Israel agenda for TPUSA to push forward. Let's just say Erika Kirk is going along with it. The sooner you start pushing that agenda out, the better it is for that agenda. What more powerful person to do that than Erika Kirk? Right after his death, when she's on camera, which blew my mind, like, wow, she's either strong or something's up here. By the way, a strong person, most of them would probably just want to be with the children and left alone. But the sooner you start pushing the agenda out, the better, because you're going to have more eyeballs on you immediately following the death. So I'm not accusing anybody of saying anything. I'm just saying that is odd. And the fact that that's odd is weirdly suspicious. Then you tie in so much Israel stuff. Charlie Kirk, now it's been proven, Candace exposed messages. Turning Point USA verified those are actual Charlie Kirk messages, where Charlie Kirk said, I am leaving the pro-Israel cause. He allegedly turned down $150 million of funding from Netanyahu. It's tracked in verified messages that Jewish donors were backing out. Charlie Kirk was saying they're bullying me. and I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to be bullied. This is why I have to leave the pro-Israel cause. So you tie all that in, and it's like there's suspicious stuff all over the place with the case. So I was having those conversations with friends, which is socially safer. I wouldn't have put that out on video yet. I'd probably need another month before I'm like, I don't want to risk offending people this much. Tim Dillon put it out 4 weeks after Charlie Kirk's death. He was seeing the same things I was seeing, maybe the same things you're seeing, and he mocked the oddities around this. He's not mocking the widowness of her, now my children have no father. He wasn't mocking that. He's mocking the oddities. So in other words, this was rooted in truth, and he was mocking it. My experience of Tim Dillon is he's a truth seeker. You know, he's a comedian, yes, but I think in his own way, similar to how I like to use the language of comedy to convey a pursuit of truth, I think Tim Dillon does that. He, you know, his podcast, it's all about politics, social commentary, and he delivers it in a very funny way, but you just listen to him and you can tell this guy mocks lies, hypocrisy, corruption, deception. He's pursuing truth. And I would dare say he's such a bold truth teller through being an excellent comedian that he felt the need to mock this, and he went for it. And by the way, then mocking the grifter Brylan, and then mocking the suspicions around Tyler Robinson, like, is he the real killer? Candace Owens says he's not. There's some holes in the narrative, so mock the killer in, I think, a very funny way, and then mock Candace Owens. That's just fun. So I totally get if people feel like that's offensive. I totally get that. And what's irrefutable is there's truth in the oddities that he was mocking. You can definitely say that's too soon, therefore it's offensive. I say I was seeing those same oddities. You're just kind of on this glam tour. Is this about an agenda, or why? How's this going on? And because I was seeing the same thing, for me it registers as actually funny. It's kind of like a sad funny. It's just in a way a shame. There's so many oddities and suspicions that make the circumstances around Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination so mysterious. It'd be amazing if we could just have, like, the truth is apparent and we can all just grieve in unity rather than probably rushing past the grieving stage as we get our detective hats on and get angry. What's true? What's not true? But please share with me in the community how this registers for you in the comments below. Offensive or funny? Or just like, well, those are good. I don't find it funny or offensive. Those are kind of like good points brought up through the language of comedy. Let me know how you see this. And I will leave you with Tim Dillon in a previous podcast mocking Israel infiltrating American news.
Barry and the whole team at the Free Press to make sure that you are getting fearless, unbiased news coverage from a team that's only agenda is the truth. Our only agenda is the truth. We are not trying to come on here and spin and say, hey, you anti-Semite pigs.
As you can see, Tim Dillon is bold, and I really respect that. Again, let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. Until then, stay free.